President, China voted in favor of the draft resolution. As an observer state of the UN, Palestine enjoys the right to, I quote, full and effective participation in UN conferences and international conferences and meetings convened under the auspices of the General Assembly, unquote. This was explicitly stipulated in last year's emergency special resolution of the GA. Under the UN headquarters agreement, the host country has an international obligation to issue visas to enable Palestine to participate in UN conferences, a responsibility that cannot be evaded or denied under any pretext. Yet, on the eve of this General Assembly, the United States, in its capacity as host country, announced the denial and revocation of visas for Palestinian officials. This action is unacceptable, and we express our deep concern. The United States have long pursued an unbalanced stance on the Palestinian issue, consistently resisting and obstructing efforts by the GA and the Security Council to promote a ceasefire in Gaza, and shielding and condoning the occupying powers' frequent violations of the international law. Just yesterday, the U.S. once again stood in opposition to the international community and brazenly blocked the Security Council from acting on the Gaza issue. This marks the 8th time the U.S. has abused its veto power since the Gaza conflict erupted in October 2023. And today's result of the vote of the GA has again shows the decision by the U.S. and its isolation by the international community. Amid the raging violence in Gaza and heightened tension in the West Bank, Palestine is striving tirelessly for peace and seeking assistance for its survival. Amidst these circumstances, the U.S. has denied Palestinian visas and the right to present its case to the United Nations. This is a blatant violation of its international obligations, a ruthless suppression of Palestinian peace efforts, and a callous disregard for the suffering of 2 million people in Gaza. The resolution adopted today provides special arrangements for Palestine to participate in the 80th session of the UNGA, including the general debate. This is a remedy for the unjust treatment Palestine has endured, undertaken out of necessity and with no alternative. The resolution explicitly states that these arrangements do not constitute a precedent and are valid only during the 80th session of the GA. We hope that through these arrangements, Palestine can successfully participate in UN meetings, express its views, and seek strong support. It must be emphasized that this resolution does not exempt the host country from its obligation and responsibility to issue visas. President, the high-level week of the 80th session of the UNGA is fast approaching, with high-level delegations from all member states set to convene in New York. China urges the host country to strictly comply with relevant international laws, including the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, the UN Headquarters Agreement, and Convention on the Privileges and Immunities of the UN. The host country should treat all sovereign states equally, refrain from discriminatory practices, fulfill its obligations regarding visas and exit and entry matters, and ensure the smooth conduct of all activities during the high-level week of the 80th session of the General Assembly. I thank you.
I thank the representative of China. We have heard the last speaker in explanation of vote after the vote. The exercise of the right of reply has been requested. May I remind members that statements in the exercise of the right of reply are limited to 10 minutes for the first intervention and to 5 minutes for the second intervention, and should be made by delegations from their seat. I give the floor to the observer of the observer state of Palestine.
Thank you, Madam President, for giving me the floor to exercise our right. Allow me at the beginning to express our gratitude to the 145 countries that supported our right, the right of the leaders of the State of Palestine, to participate in the meetings and the work of the General Assembly during the UNGA week and always during the work of the United Nations. We express our gratitude for this crystal clear position by the 145 countries addressed to the host country to honor and respect its obligation under the Headquarters Agreement, especially Section 11, which visas should be granted to us. Whether we agree or disagree on certain issues with the host country, that does not give the host country the right or the privilege to abuse its authority by denying us visas to come and to attend physically with all of the colleagues of our leaders to participate in issues that are important to the international community, and including the question of Palestine. We sincerely hope that this abuse to be reversed as quickly as possible, and for the host country to extend visas for our leaders, because we have the right to be with all of you, for our leaders to be with all of you, and to share our thoughts and ideas peacefully, diplomatically, legally, and in a civilized way. Denying us, denying our leaders the opportunity to do so is an abuse of the authority, and it is a punishment for the state of Palestine that should not take place. Of course, our leaders will participate in whatever capacity that is possible to us, but we will not yield an inch for our right to be treated like the rest of you and to receive our visas for our leaders in any meetings that we are invited to participate in, and we will continue doing that. And we hope that that will be the end of this issue. We need to concentrate on the issues of substance and not to be distracted on such issues. But if we are forced to take additional measures and the host country to continue abusing its authority of continuing to denying us of visas, this issue will be revisited, and there are precedents that happened in the past that seriously will consider. Thank you very much.
I thank the observer of the Observer State of Palestine. No more requests. The Assembly has thus concluded this stage of its consideration of Agenda Item 7. The Assembly will resume its consideration of Agenda Item 35, entitled Question of Palestine. I give the floor to the distinguished representative of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, Madam President. The permanent mission of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the United Nations proposes the following oral decision. The General Assembly, recalling its Resolution 79/81 of 3 December 2024 and Decision 79/573B of 5 September 2025, decides that His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince and the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia may deliver a statement by means of video conference or the submission of a pre-recorded statement during the resumed meeting of the High-Level International Conference for the peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and the implementation of the two-state solution, to be held on 22 September 2025 at heads of state and government level at 3 p.m. in the General Assembly Hall. Thank you.
I thank the representative of Saudi Arabia. The representative of Saudi Arabia has proposed a draft oral decision. The Assembly will now proceed to take action on the draft oral decision. The Assembly will now take a decision on the draft oral decision proposed by the representative of Saudi Arabia. Without a vote, may I take it that the Assembly wishes to adopt the draft oral decision? It is so decided. So, long scrolling. The Assembly has thus concluded this stage of its consideration of agenda item 35. The meeting is adjourned. I wish you all, in these times anyhow, a good weekend.